big break, lunch break. It's almost 1:40, right?
Ma'am,
Yes. Yes.
yes.
Yes, Krishna.
Madam, do you know about the final examination day?
No, I don't know about the final examination of the other subject, but for the DCN subject, there will be 2 unit tests. One is on Monday, one will be after that.
Okay, okay. Ma'am, before Diwali, it will be finished our exam.
Yeah, most probably, but you can ask to the Krishna ma'am, your CC.
Oh, yes, yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Probably they are preparing for unit test. Oh, they are not that much sincere, Arafat. They are preparing for the unit test from now only. So yes, everyone, I hope you remember the unit test one, right? Everyone prepare the 6 units and give the test. Okay, so I think we will not wait much and we should start our session now. So everyone, good afternoon, and let me share the screen. I think last time we have completed serial communication experiment, right? Yes, everyone. Last to last lab was there, and at that time we have completed serial communication. So Bluetooth and Cisco packet tracer, 2 experiments are pending in your lab, if I'm not wrong. Bluetooth is done or pending? Bluetooth technology. And the second is Cisco packet tracer. Okay, so I think yes, these two are pending because I think we are not getting the lab from 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so let me start with the Bluetooth technology, everyone. Okay, so this is your 9th experiment, Bluetooth technology. So see, you all know, you all are aware about Bluetooth, that how Bluetooth is working in your mobile phone or in your computer, but you exactly don't know that what is Bluetooth, right? How it is structured, what is the architecture, how it can be connected to the different processor or controller, right? So that we are going to study into this experiment. Okay, so the name Bluetooth was named after 10th century Viking king in Denmark, Harald Bluetooth, right? So Bluetooth was the surname of Harald, right? And that's why the name Bluetooth was introduced. Who united and controlled the Denmark and Norway. Yeah, he was the king of the Denmark. The name was adopted because Bluetooth wireless technology is expected to unify the telecommunications and computing industries. So whenever see this technology was introduced, at that time the name was not given because no one knows that how much popular it will be, right? But they have found that for the wireless technology or for the wireless communication, this is the simplest way, or you can say the low cost, low power consuming technology which can do the wireless communication, right, for a short range. So they have adopted this name Bluetooth after introducing it. Bluetooth, generally whenever it was started, one group was created that was known as special interest group, right? Initially the Bluetooth was adopted by the Ericsson company first, right, in 1998. After Ericsson, Intel, IBM, Nokia, Toshiba, all others joined that group. And now, nowadays, more than 2,000 organizations, 2,000 organizations means almost all the companies joined this group, special interest group, and they are researching on it. Bluetooth is an open standard for short range digital radio to interconnect a variety of devices. And these devices can be cell phones, PDA, notebook, computers, modems, cordless phones, pagers, and so on. Okay, so you can connect the two devices by using a Bluetooth for the short range communication, right? Not more than 10 meters. So it can be used in a different devices by developing a single chip, low cost, radio based wireless network technology. So see, in every device one Bluetooth module is there. In every device the Bluetooth module is there, because of which the communication can be possible. And that Bluetooth module is, as it is written here, it is a single chip, low cost, and radio based wireless network technology. So why Bluetooth is very much important? Because it's simplifying the communication between the devices and the internet, data synchronization. It operates in the licensed exempt on ISM band at 2.4 gigahertz. Yes, let me tell you what is this ISM band. See, you can consider it as a free band. See, frequency cannot come free, right? You all know that. Frequency bands are very costly. So in air, limited frequency range is available, and for that frequency, you have to pay if you want to use that, right? But Bluetooth was so popular, and they have considered the Bluetooth into the ISM band. Actually, ISM is industrial, scientific, medical, right? Industrial, scientific, and medical devices. So actually, ISM is the band of frequencies which is generally used for the noble causes, right? For the some applications which can use this free frequency band. So in the ISM band, one of the frequency is 2.4 gigahertz, and that frequency will be used by the Bluetooth. So yes, Bluetooth is using the wireless communication with the free frequency band. So the only cost you have to bear to use the Bluetooth is the module, the chip, right? That IC, Bluetooth IC. That's it. The other costs are not there because of this free frequency band. It uses the frequency hopping spread spectrum. You all know now, right? What is FHSS? So anyone remember what is FHSS? We have studied this into the fourth chapter, bandwidth utilization, and in which we have studied multiplexing and the spread spectrum techniques. So what was frequency hopping spread spectrum? What was frequency hopping spread spectrum? Hopped in different frequency. Okay. Do you remember the diagram of FHSS, which I have shown you whenever we were studying that topic? Right, in that diagram, we have seen that the random code or random sequence will be generated, and according to that random code, the different frequencies, carrier frequencies will be generated, and based on those different random frequencies, the original signal, input signal was modulated, and in the output, you are getting a spread spectrum, right, for all those frequencies what you have generated. Right, so yes, it was hopped in a different frequency, and it is a random frequency because of random codes, right? So we were using that concept into the FHSS, and same concept is being used here, right, into the Bluetooth. Omnidirectional, no requiring line of sight. You all know, right, that whenever you are sending the data from Bluetooth, it's not required that the mobile phone should be in front of each other. Right, it is omnidirectional, means whenever you are sending the data, it can be go to the equal distances around you. Fine. So for example, 10 meters range. So wherever your mobile phone, 10 meters in circle, that data can be transmitted. So it's omnidirectional, in all direction data can be transferred. Line of sight is not required. Bluetooth offers data speeds of up to 1 Mbps up to 10 meters. Yeah, you all know, right? Maximum speed you can get in the Bluetooth data transfer is 1 Mbps, and the distance is very short range, that is at 10 meters only. Unlike IRDA, Bluetooth supports a LAN-like mode where multiple devices can interact with each other. IRDA is infrared, actually. Let me tell you what is that problem. Actually, whenever Bluetooth was introduced, at the same time, two technologies were in the, you can say that, in the invention. One was the infrared, and second one was the Bluetooth. So can anyone say what is infrared? Are you using infrared anywhere in your day-to-day life? What is infrared? So two technologies were introduced at the same time, infrared and Bluetooth. But Bluetooth got more popularity than the infrared because of some advantages. So yes, where you are using infrared in your day-to-day life? Arafat is saying cameras. Cameras? How? How in cameras infrared will be used? No, I don't think so. How camera can require infrared? In a TV remote, are you using infrared? In a projector remote, are you using infrared? So what actually infrared is doing, by infrared also you are doing a wireless communication. By infrared also you are sending the signal from the transmitter. Transmitter is your remote control, right? And the receiver is your device, that is either television or your projector. So what you are doing is you are simply pressing a remote key, and from remote the signal will be passed in the infrared range and it can be received in the TV. So infrared is also working. It is also a short range communication device. Bluetooth is also short range communication device. But what is the advantage of Bluetooth over the infrared? Can anyone say? Now you understood what is infrared? Wirelessly, you can control some devices by using infrared waves. So yes, now tell me, what is the difference between infrared and Bluetooth? A major difference. Maybe TV remote can't work over abstraction. Yes, definitely. Where Bluetooth can do. Okay. So yes, see, whenever you are using a Bluetooth, as I already told you one advantage, that is it is a omnidirectional. Where infrared cannot work omnidirectional. Infrared should be the line of sight communication. If you will keep your TV remote in front of TV, then only it can be communicated, right? From the other room or from the opposite side. If you will operate the remote, it will not, signal will not go to the TV and TV cannot be operated, right? Same way for other infrared devices also, right? So that is the one more disadvantage of the Bluetooth, disadvantage of that infrared and advantage of Bluetooth. Okay, range is obviously, range you all know, both are short range used for the short range communication. The key limitations of Bluetooth are security and interference with wireless LANs and short range wireless radio technology it is. So yes, what is the major disadvantage of Bluetooth is, one is security, right? Why security? Because you all know that anyone can connect to your Bluetooth if it is paired already, right? So security issues are there. Second is interference with wireless LANs. So yes, if wireless LANs are there, right, we are also sending the data wirelessly and they are also using the same frequency band, then the data can be interfere with each other, right? So whatever data you are sending from Bluetooth can be interfered with the wireless LAN data. Bluetooth is a personal area network technology. It is also known as PAN technology, personal area network, because yes, it is used for the personal use, right? It is not the network which are connecting the specific devices, specific group of devices. It offers fast and reliable transmission for both voice and data. So yes, Bluetooth can transmit the voice as well as data, fast as well as reliable transmission is there. It can support either one asynchronous data channel with up to 3 simultaneous synchronous channels. I will explain this just a minute. Or one channel that transfers asynchronous data and synchronous speech simultaneously. So see, you have voice and data. Voice means speech channels. Okay, so what Bluetooth is actually having, Bluetooth is providing number of channels, right? Where the channel can transmit either the data or the speech signal, not a video. Okay, either data or voice channel. So they are saying that Bluetooth supports either one asynchronous data channel and maximum 3 speech channels, or one asynchronous data channel and one synchronous speech channel simultaneously. What does it mean? That you can transmit the voice as well as data both together, right? But for that, you can transmit one by one. For example, let me tell you one thing. If you are transmitting voice and data, one file is voice file and second file is data file, right? Both are being transmitted at the same time, then you can do it. And second way is you are transmitting the voice channel or data channel, but individually. But if you are transmitting voice signal, then three voice files can be sent at a time, and one data file can be sent at a time. Okay, data cannot be sent together. For example, let me tell you one example. Right now, I understand that no one is using the Bluetooth much, right? Because we are having so many other options. But yes, let me tell you, if you have used the Bluetooth in this way, let's say you are transmitting 10 images. Right now, I am talking about the Bluetooth which is able to transmit the voice and data. But if you are transmitting 10 different files, right? Let's say image files. So what you are doing is you are transmitting those image files, but for one image file, the other device will get the request that do you accept it? One file is going to come to your Bluetooth or via your Bluetooth. So are you accepting it? So if you will click on accept, then only that file will come. And then second image will come. So for the second image also, you will get the request that are you accepting it? So you have to accept every time, right? So files cannot be sent together as a single file. All files are going separately, and and the other user has to accept one by one, because the file will be treated as a single data. Okay, so that thing was mentioned over here. Support both packet switching and circuit switching. So yes, in Bluetooth, circuit switching and packet switching both can be used. Now you are aware about the circuit switching and packet switching, right? So whenever, what is the circuit switching and packet switching here? Actually, in a Bluetooth, what you are doing? You are connecting multiple devices. You are transmitting data from one device and sending to the other device, right? So one network will be formed, and network means switching will be there. So switchings can be used circuit as a packet switching. PAN Bluetooth is a standard. See here, I'm mentioning Bluetooth in general, but the Bluetooth are also of different types. So here this PAN Bluetooth is one of the standard of Bluetooth, right? That will eliminate wires and cables between both stationary and the mobile devices. So yes, you can use the Bluetooth in the PC also, that is a stationary device, and you can use a mobile phone or laptop also, that is a mobile devices. Right? So where you need not to connect the two devices by using wires and cables, because it's a wireless technology. It facilitates both data and voice communication, as I told you in the previous slide, and it offers the possibility of ad hoc networks and delivers synchronicity between personal devices. So what is ad hoc networks, everyone? Ad hoc means a temporary network, right? That whenever you are transferring a data, right, then you can connect to it. And when you don't want to transfer the data, you can disconnect with that device, right? So you are forming a network every time whenever you want to send a data, right? So that network is not permanent. That network is temporary. So you are creating the ad hoc networks every time, right? And it delivers synchronicity between the personal devices. So yes, why synchronicity between the personal devices? Because once you will pair with the other device, right, by using a Bluetooth, then synchronous will be there. Synchronous means what? It's not like that you are sending the data from your one device to another device. Then you can say that your first data will go to the first, right, in the first time slot, and then second data will go, then third data will go. So whatever sequence you are sending the data, in the same sequence the data will be received to the other device also. Okay. And yes, as I told about the ISM band, industrial, scientific and medical, right? So that ISM band is international radio frequency allocation for free, right? So here, let me tell you, this is your ISM band from 2.402 gigahertz to 2.48 gigahertz. And this band is used for different applications like industrial, scientific, medical devices, plus codeless phones, baby monitors, garage door openers, and other consumer devices. So many devices are there which are operating into this band, ISM band. But yes, all these devices are using the different frequencies, because in this band also there are different devices, different frequencies, where this what two lines are mentioned here. One is purple color and one is sky blue color, right? So the sky blue color line is for Bluetooth devices. So this frequency, all approximately 2.45 gigahertz. Okay, so Bluetooths can be used in a 2.45 gigahertz, which is actually inside the ISM band, right? So what actually mentioned over here in a figure, that let's say one house is there, in house so many devices are there which are working on the ISM band, but these all are the Bluetooth circles, right? Can you find out the range, right? In a omnidirectional Bluetooth network is coming, but these all Bluetooth devices are under this purple spiral, that is your ISM band. Okay, so all the ISM devices are working on this frequency. Bluetooth is working on 2.45 gigahertz frequency. Just a minute, guys. I think some important call is coming. Just a minute, guys. Okay, so we were discussing the Bluetooth ISM band, which is used in the ISM band, right? So let us see one video, right, which can explain you. Just a minute. It is not making a hyperlink. Let me open it manually.
When you think of accounting and finance, what comes to mind? Don't worry, this is not my course. I have something.
So friends, in today's video, we are going to see the architecture of Bluetooth technology. So Bluetooth defines two types of network, Piconet and Scatternet.
See everyone, here actually they are saying that what is inside the Bluetooth technology, which type of network it will create, right? I will explain you after this video that what is Piconet and Scatternet also, right? But kindly understand here, right? Then I will explain you.
First, we are going to see Piconet. A Bluetooth network is a Piconet or a small net. A Piconet can have up to 8 stations, one of which is called as primary. The rest are called as secondaries. All the secondary stations synchronize their clocks and hopping sequence with the primary. Note that a Piconet can have only one primary station. The communication between the primary and secondary can be one-to-one or one-to-many. In the following Piconet diagram, you can see that there is one primary station and all other are secondary stations. So the primary station acts as master and all other stations act as slaves. Although a Piconet have a maximum of 7 secondaries, an additional 8 secondaries can be in the park state. A secondary in a park state is synchronized with the primary, but cannot take part in communication until it is moved from the park state. Because only 8 stations can be active in Piconet, activating a station from park state means the active station must go to the park state. Now we are going to see Scatternet. In Scatternet, primary station of one Piconet acts as secondary station of another Piconet. Here you can see that this station acts as primary in the first Piconet and then it acts as secondary in the second Piconet. Means the slave of one Piconet acts as master of another Piconet. Piconets can be combined to form what is called as Scatternet. A secondary station in one Piconet can be the primary in another Piconet. This station can receive messages from the primary in the first Piconet and acting as a primary deliver them to the secondaries in second Piconet. A station can be member of two Piconets.
Okay, so everyone, yes, I think the speed of the video was very high, right? Do you feel that? Okay, so what they were actually saying that Bluetooth, in the Bluetooth, how the devices can be connected to each other, right? So by using a network, and that network is known as Pico network, right? Because a small network is there. Okay, so it was not, no, I'm not speedy, Rafat. Okay, so what will happen is one station, for example, one mobile phone. By using a one mobile phone, you are sending the data. Then you are primary, right? Your device is the primary or master device, and whatever other devices are receiving the data, that is known as a slave devices or secondary devices. Okay, I repeat. What is the network used into the Bluetooth is known as small network or Pico network, PicoNet. Okay, in which the first device, whatever device you are using, right, mobile phone or computer or laptop, that from which you are sending the data, that is known as master or primary device. And the other devices which are receiving the data are known as slave devices or the secondary devices. Now, if as your mobile phone is a master device, then how many other devices can receive the data at the same time? So they are saying that maximum 8 secondaries can be connected, not more than that. Okay, maximum 8 secondaries can be connected. If ninth secondary also wants to receive the same data, then that will be in the parked state. Parked state means it has to wait. After 8 will receive, then only ninth one can receive the data. Okay, because the network will be connected to that device then. Now, the problem is, it's not like your mobile can be primary and other mobiles will always be secondary, right? Every device can be primary, can be secondary. Depends, right? From which device you want to send the data or you want to receive the data. So what will happen? How one primary Bluetooth devices can send data more than one secondary devices at a time. Not actually what I want to say here. Everyone, Arafat, what I'm saying here, that whenever your primary device wants to send data to the secondary devices, then how many total secondary devices can be connected to the primary device in the network, right? So in the network, how many devices you can connect at a time? Okay, that is the question. So that number of devices can be maximum 8, right? Then you will select a device one by one and you will send the data. For example, you are selecting a file and then you will select that, okay, to whom you are sending, to whom you want to send the data. So you will select one of the secondary device. Again, you will select the another secondary device, third secondary device, and so on, right? But the network is already formed. The network will be formed between those devices. Okay, and now what I want to say is, if other devices which are secondary also wants to send the data to other devices, then that device is working secondary for the first PicoNet, and it will work as a primary for the second network, second Pico network. Because obviously every device, every mobile or laptop or computer can send the data also, can receive the data also from the Bluetooth, right? So whenever the device which is connected to the 2 Pico network, for one PicoNet it is working as a primary, and for the other Pico network it is working as a secondary, then this type of network is known as scattered network, right? Scattered network. So scatter net. Okay, so these two words were explained in that video. I don't want to put this into the PPT, that's why I have put at that video over here. I repeat, 2 types of network they have discussed for the Bluetooth. One is the Pico network, in which one can be primary, the other can be secondary. It's not like only 8 always 8 devices will be there. Only 2 devices are there, let's say, right? One is primary and one is secondary. Then also that is known as Pico network. Okay, that is also known as a Pico network. So Pico network is the small network in which one device will be primary and one or more than one devices can be secondary. Fine. And scatternet is the one in which one device is working as a secondary device for the first piconet and working as a primary device for the second piconet. So that is that the whole network of this two piconet is known as scatternet. Fine. Understood everyone? These two words. So let us move forward. So here only some you can say flow is explained, that how the flow will be whenever the transferring of the data will be taken place into the two Bluetooth devices. Okay, so let's say this is a master device, a slave device. Both are in the standby mode. Standby mode means they are not going to start transfer right now, right? So they are in the standby. But let's say now master device wants to send the data to slave. Okay, so what master device will do? It will send a request ID, and that request ID is known as inquiry packet, right? So master device will send the inquiry by sending one ID packet, and here at the slave device, it will receive a request that you are getting a request from the another device. You want to accept that request or not? So slave will scan the inquiry. What is the inquiry scan? You are scanning the devices, right? That Bluetooth, for example, two mobile devices are there. I am sending a data to another mobile. Then what will happen? That I will say him that okay, open your Bluetooth, and my Bluetooth is also on, right? So in both the cases, Bluetooth are on standby mode. But whenever I want to send the data, what will happen? That slave device will scan that data, scan that device. That are you getting that Bluetooth device? What you want to connect with? So yes. So inquiry scan will be there. After inquiry scan, it will give the response. And whenever inquiry response will be given from slave to master, that request will be response will be given in form of one more packet that is known as FHS, that is frequency hopping spectrum packet. Okay, don't worry, it's not nothing else. So it will send the FHS packet. And now whenever you want to send the data, this is the request, not data, right? This is a request acknowledgement, right? Request acknowledgement will come in this way. And now if you want to send the data into the Bluetooth will be divided into number of pages. Number of pages means the data will be divided into number of parts. Now what will happen? That data will be sent to the slave. Again, the slave will get a request that you are getting some data. For example, I have given you the example previously also, that if I am sending you an image, right? An image will be received via your Bluetooth, then you will first get a request that one image is coming from this Bluetooth. Do you want to accept it? So yes, you will scan that request, and then you will give the response by using the ID packet again. So whenever you will give the response, it means you are accepting that data, right? So that data will be come to you. And whenever this will come to you, you will say to the master that yes, I received the data whatever you have sent. Okay, so whenever you are accepting that file, it means you are getting that file also, and you are giving the acknowledgement also to the master device. Okay, to the master device you are getting the acknowledgement also. Okay, and this process can done in both the ways. It's not like always this master device or one mobile device is sending the data to slave. This device can also send to this, right? Because both are the devices which can send and receive the data at the same time, right? So again, slave response whenever will give the response to the master device, it will be in the form of ID packet. So it is nothing but it is again a type of inquiry. So obviously, whenever it will get the inquiry, it will be scan the inquiry and again send the inquiry response in terms of the second one, FHS packet, right? So connection between these two devices will be done, and both devices are transmitting ID packet one by one whenever they want to transmit a data. And unless and until the data transfer will be completed, this process will be continued. Right, continuously this process will be done, and then the devices can disconnect themselves. Okay, So this is the simple flow. Actually, no one is going to ask you this flow anywhere, but this is the flow given into the book. So I have also included it. Now, if you have studied this, all the terms, inquiry and standby and page scan and everything. So this all the terms are explained one by one in the book also in terms of definition type. So connection establishment states are, one is the standby state in which Bluetooth device is inactive, radio not switched on, enable low power operation. Okay, so obviously Bluetooth device is inactive means data transfer is not being happening. Page, master enters page state and starts transmitting paging messages to slave using earlier gained access code and timing information. So what is this gained access code and timing information? The response, FHS packet. So once FHS packet will be get by the master, then only the data can be sent by using that code. Page scan. Device periodically enters page state to allow paging devices to establish connection. So whenever the page will be transmitted from the master device, slave will scan that page to receive that. Inquiry, state in which device tries to discover all Bluetooth enabled devices in the close vicinity. So yes, if the master device wants to send the data, so it has to go to the state, right, where you are actually searching the devices, which devices are in your area, around your area. Inquiry scan, most devices periodically enter the inquiry scan state to make themselves available to the inquiring devices. So sometimes, let's say another device wants to connect to you, right, but you haven't make your Bluetooth on, so obviously your device will not be visible into their scan. So they are saying that most of the devices periodically enter the inquiry scan state to make themselves available, right, for the inquiring devices. Now, after understanding the flow, how Bluetooth will be transferred. See, till now what we have studied, that what is Bluetooth, in which frequency it is working, and what is the application. Now let's see the actual hardware of Bluetooth. What is the architecture of Bluetooth? So see this is the Bluetooth module HC05. Actually, there are multiple types of Bluetooth modules available into the market, but this is the general one, right? Most of the people are using this Bluetooth module to connect to the different processors or controllers. So in this Bluetooth module, I think you have seen this type of module somewhere also in the lab maybe, right? So this is HC05 module where the number of pins are connected through the processor, with the processor, by using these 6 pins. First pin is known as enable or key pin. Second pin is known as VCC, 5 volt supply, right? And third pin is ground, reference point. Fourth is, by using this you can do the transmission. Fifth pin, by using this you can receive the data. And sixth pin will show the state. I will tell you that Bluetooth is working in 2 states. So right, so the state pin may be 0 or maybe 1. And 7 and 8 number are not the pin, but these are the important thing. One is LED and one is button. This LED and button are actually used for controlling the pin number 1 and pin number 6. Right, you want to enable which mode, right? Bluetooth is working in a different mode, so in which mode you want to work, that will be controlled by LED and button. And LED can give you the different things. I will explain you one by one all the pins. Okay, now before going further, before explaining you each pin, I think take a 2-minute break. Okay, after 2 minutes we will continue with this pin functions of each pin. Everyone take a 2-minute break and then we will continue. Okay, so can we resume now? So we were discussing about the hardware of Bluetooth, right? Bluetooth module is a very small module it is, right? I will show you in a one video also, right? So in this, let's discuss this all pins and their description. First pin is known as enable or key. Now let me tell you, this pin actually is used to either enable the data mode or AT command mode. Now let me tell you what is data mode and AT command mode. So data mode is the one in which you are transferring the data from one device to another device. I repeat, data mode means you are transferring the data from one device to another device. And what is AT command mode? AT command mode is a setup mode, right? It is a setup of Bluetooth. That means you are connecting one Bluetooth device to the another Bluetooth device. Okay, so whenever you are connecting, you are doing a setup between two devices to send the data. That is known as command mode, and the data mode is the one where actually you are doing the transfer. Either you are sending the data or you are receiving the data, right? So whenever your Bluetooth is in a data mode, this pin, first number pin, will be set low. Low means 0, right? This pin will receive the 0 value. And whenever it is in command mode, it will be set high, means it will be 1, right? So whenever this pin is enable, it is working in a command mode. And whenever this pin is not enable, this will work in a data mode. Second pin is VCC. Obviously, it is providing a supply, right? So it powers the module and connect to the plus 5 volt supply voltage. So it means your Bluetooth module is working on plus 5 volt supply, a very low voltage, 5 volt DC. Ground. Obviously, ground is a reference for the supply, right? So it is connected to the system ground. Fourth is a transmitter and fifth is a receiver. Now let me tell you, you all know, right? In a serial communication, previous experiment also, we have discussed that Bluetooth is using serial communication. Serial transmission is done in the Bluetooth. So it means only one pin is required for transmission of serial data. Bit by bit data will be transferred, right? And only one pin is required to receive the data bit by bit. So transmitter will transmit serial data. Everything received via Bluetooth will be given out by this pin as serial data. Okay. Receiver receives serial data. Every serial data given to this pin will be broadcasted via Bluetooth. Sixth number pin I told you about, state. Now, actually, this state is not only in the mode, right? Here, first pin, don't confuse with the pin number 1 and pin number 6, right? Pin number 1 is for the data mode or command mode, but state is connected directly to the LED as I have shown you here, right? Pin number 6 is connected with this LED. So it means according to the blinking status of LED, you can say that what is the meaning of that blinking. So let me tell you all those. So state pin is connected to onboard LED. It can be used as a feedback to check if Bluetooth is working properly or not. Now, how many different states of LED are there? So in a three different way, LED can blink. And each 3 ways are representing something else. So let me tell you, first, blink once in 2 seconds. If LED blinks once in 2 seconds, 2 seconds में एक बार blink होती है, then module has entered into the command mode. So now the Bluetooth setup can be done. Second blinking method, repeated blinking, right? So it is continuously blinking, right? Then waiting for connection in data mode and blink twice in 1 second. So 1 second 2 बार, right? 1 second 2 times. If LED is blinking, then connection successful in the data mode. Are you getting these 3 things? Actually, LED is also showing the status of these modes only, but both are different. Here it is saying that after LED connection, what is the actual status that will be represented by pin number 1, that either it is working in a data mode or in a command mode. And here actually they are saying that module has entered in which command, which mode, right? So module has entered in a command mode. Module is waiting for connecting to the data mode. I mean, from command mode you want to switch to the data mode, right, to transfer the data. Then it will be repeated blinking. And if the data mode connection will be successful, it means now you can transfer the data, right? How it can be represented by LED? So blink twice in 1 second. And the 8th number is button. So button is directly connected with the pin number 1, enable key. So it is used to control the key or enable pin to toggle between data and command mode. So yes, very simple now. If you want to work with the Bluetooth, first of all, you will set up the Bluetooth. It means you will work in a command mode. So obviously you will press this button. So what does it mean? Whenever you will press the button, it will be in the enable mode. It means it is in a command mode, right? And now let's say setup is done. You are connected with the another device. Now you want to transfer the data. So now again, if you will press the button, then what will happen? It will be first number pin will go into the data mode, because first number pin toggles between the data mode and command mode, right? And this toggle means a switching between data and command. So this switching will be done by this button, push button. A simply push switch will be there. Okay, whenever you will push one time, it will be work in command mode. Again, you will push, it will be in the data mode. Again, if you will push, it will be in a command mode, data mode, command mode, data mode, right? So if you want to switch from one mode to another mode, you can use this button. Very simple to understand, all 8 pins. Any doubt into this 8 pin functions? 21? Okay, so let's move further. Yes, default settings of HC05. So whenever you will purchase the HC05 module from the market, which are the default setting which are already done, right? So default Bluetooth name will be HC05. Default password will be either 1234 or 0000. It means you can try either of this. Okay, you try the 1234. If it is not working, you can try the 0000. So both out of this two, only one can be the default password for this module. Default communication slave, right? So default communication slave means what? Default communication means you can receive the data. Default mode, data mode, right? So default mode will be data mode. So if you want to switch to the command mode, you have to press the button. Data mode baud rate. Baud rate means a speed. Baud rate means speed, right? So 9600. And here some bits are actually mentioned. 8-bit. And actually this is 1, huh? It's not I, it is 1. So what they are actually saying, don't actually consider this 8, N and 1. Only you will deal with the rate, baud rate. So baud rate is very important. Why? Because you are doing a serial communication. And whenever you are doing a serial communication between the two devices, those both devices must have the same baud rate. Then and then communication can be possible. So 9600 is the baud rate for the data mode, and 38400 is the baud rate for command mode. And default firmware they are using is Linmore. Okay, so this many things are given into the default settings. So this is a general specification you can consider as a data sheet. Okay, no need to use it anywhere. HC05 technical specifications are given here. But let me tell you, I'm not going to tell you one by one, because I think we heard almost all the things previously, right? You can see the technical specification by your own. But yes, they are saying last line is important. Supported baud rates are this many. All these baud rates are supported by this HC05 module. 9600, 19200, 38400, and so on up to 4,60,800. So where to use the Bluetooth? I think I need not to tell you this, but yes, HC05 is a very cool module which can add two-way wireless functionality to your projects, right? So whenever you are making any project and if you want to do the wireless communication, right? And the two-way communication, then you can use this HC05 module, which can be connected with the controller, whatever you're using in your project. You can use this module to communicate between two microcontrollers like Arduino, or communicate with any device with Bluetooth functionality like a phone or laptop. So obviously in a phone, another controller or processor will be used. In a laptop also another type of processor is used, right? So it means what? That Bluetooth can be connected to any of the processor or controller. The only required thing is you have to connect four things: VCC, ground, transmitter, and receiver. And you will be surprised that in every processor and controller there must be one pin as a transmitter and second pin as a receiver, and two pins are everywhere in every processor and controller, that is VCC and ground. So all four pins are available: VCC, ground, transmitter, and receiver with all the processor and controller. How you will come to know? So let me tell you that whenever you will study one subject in fourth semester and subject in fifth semester, COA and microprocessor, right? In both those subjects, you will study the different type of processor IC, in which you will identify that four pins are everywhere: VCC, ground, transmitter, and receiver, right? So serial input and serial output can be used for the transmitter, receiver, and VCC, ground are used for a supply. So if you will connect the four pins of the processor or controller with the four pins of Bluetooth module, then you can do the communication between the processor and the Bluetooth. Very simple communication fundamental is there. So there are many Android applications that are already available, which makes this process a lot easier. So I will show you one video also where you can connect, you can say Bluetooth, right? You can transfer the data from Bluetooth module to the Android device, Android app, right? You can make an Android app, and by which in your mobile phone also Bluetooth module is there, right? So if you will use another Bluetooth module by purchasing it from market, you can do the communication between these two. And you can now actually assume, right, that what is happening. You can visualize what is happening between these two devices. Okay, they are saying that this module communicates with the help of one protocol, one standard you can consider as USART, universal. You all know, right? I think we have discussed this USART before also, right? This is one standard for receiver wireless communication, right? For receiving and transmitting the data, but serially, right? So universal serial asynchronous receiver transmission. Okay, that is the full form actually. At 9600 baud rate, and hence it is easy to interface with any microcontroller that support this standard. And most of the controller and processor supports this standard for the serial communication. We can also configure the default values of the module by using the command mode. Yeah, you know, right? This. So if you're looking for a wireless module that could transfer the data from your computer or mobile phone to the another microcontroller like Arduino. For example, see, Arduino is not connected into your mobile phone or laptop, right? But in a Arduino, if you want to communicate from Arduino to mobile phone, then how you can communicate between these two? You can communicate by using the Bluetooth, right? Because in your mobile phone already Bluetooth is available, right? So with Arduino also, if you will connect the Bluetooth, then this communication can be possible. So we will see that also. HC05 has two operating modes. You all know, data mode and command mode. So data mode is the one by which you can send or receive the data from Bluetooth devices. And AT command mode is the one where the default device settings can be changed. We can operate the device in either of these two modes by using the key pin, first pin, enable or key pin. It's very easy to pair the HC05 module with the controllers because it operates using the serial port protocol, and simply power the module with 5 volt, connect the receiver pin, connect the transmitter pin, right? And that's it. What is the connection? Very simple. Between the controller and Bluetooth module, if you want to do the connection, very simple. Connect the supply, 5 volt and ground, and connect the transmitter of mobile phone with the receiver of Bluetooth, and receiver of mobile phone with the transmitter of Bluetooth, and the communication will be possible, right? So very easy connection is there. So let me show you how the connection will be done. So see, if you are having a controller right? Then in a microcontroller, one 5-volt supply pin will be there. Connect to that with the VCC of the HC05 module. Connect the ground of the microcontroller with the ground pin of the HC05 module. And transmitter of Bluetooth will be connected to receiver of controller, and receiver of module will be connected to transmitter of controller. Right? So what will happen? If microcontroller is transmitting the data, Bluetooth will receive it. And if Bluetooth is transmitting the data, microcontroller will receive it. Okay, so this way the connection between the controller and the Bluetooth module can be done. Same way they have actually shown the connection of Arduino. See, this is the Arduino Uno, right? Where 0 number pin is known as receiver pin, which is connected to transmitter of Bluetooth. 1 number pin is known as transmitter pin, which is connected to the receiver pin of Bluetooth. And VCC and ground are connected directly to the 5-volt and ground of the Arduino. Very easy. 5-volt and ground of the Arduino will provide the supply to Bluetooth module also. A big deal, right? So how the communication can occur between the Android device and the mobile phone or computer by using a Bluetooth stick or Bluetooth Arduino board, right? So let's see what is happening. Let's say we are connecting this Arduino with the computer, and Android device is also having a Bluetooth, right? We all know. So what we are doing is we are connecting the Bluetooth module HC05, same as mentioned in the previous diagram. In the previous diagram, how we have connected Arduino and Bluetooth, same way we are connecting it. Arduino and Bluetooth will be connected. So how the data transfer will be performed, first of all. So first step, in your Android device, you have to create one mobile app, right? So that mobile app can be controlled by Bluetooth device. So what will be happen? App on the Android device sends a character to the Bluetooth. So by using Android device, if you are having a mobile app, let's say in the mobile app, there is one button that switch off the light, right? Light will be on, or switch light will be on, off, right? So if that button is there, so if you will press on that, you can say the command will be sent to the Bluetooth stick, and that Bluetooth stick will send that by using the transmitter pin. Transmitter pin of the Bluetooth will send that command to the Arduino. So Bluetooth stick receives the character and passes it to the module. Okay, Bluetooth stick will receive the data from Android device and passes it to the Arduino module. Third step is Arduino is connected to the computer. So processing program running on the computer detects the character whatever it is receiving, because whatever Bluetooth will transmit, that will be come into the receiver of the Arduino, right? So the computer is having, let's say Arduino is connected with the computer. So one serial port will be there in the computer also. So you can display whatever character Arduino is receiving into your computer screen. Okay, so that process can be done. So how it will be done? So let me show you the one program, and then we will see the video also. So see this program, what is happening here? Let me tell you, in the Arduino Uno, 13 number pin. In the Arduino Uno, 13 number pin is a digital pin which is connected with the LED. LED positive is connected with 13 number, and LED negative is connected to ground. In HC05 module, transmitter receiver pins and VCC ground pins are connected to the Arduino. Now what you want to do by using Bluetooth and Arduino? I just want to make LED on, LED off by this command, by this Bluetooth. Okay, so what is the program I'm writing here? Integer LED. See, this is the program of Arduino. You maybe are not aware about all the lines, but let me explain you what is written into here. So whenever you will write the same program into Arduino, this LED can be controlled. LED can be on or off by using this program. Integer LED equal to 13. Pin mode, LED is used as an output pin. So this LED will used as an output, not input. Okay, so whatever command it will receive, according to the LED will be on or off. Baud rate we are using is 9600 on the serial port of Arduino. If serial port is available, then we are taking one variable A, right? So that will read that serial port, that what is available into the serial port, binary 1 or binary 0. So what a is the value what we are going to give through the Bluetooth. We are actually working as a transmitter and receiver. So in a I will show you one video also. In an app, what we are doing, we are simply press LED on. So what we are doing is either we are sending 1 or we are sending 0. So in that case, what we are doing is we are simply pressing LED on. So what will happen is that hello, am I audible? Okay, sorry, there was some internet connection problem, so I was disconnected meanwhile. Okay, so see, before meeting was disconnected, I was discussing about showing you one video. Right, in that video, actually, I have actually find out that video in which Android app, how Android app is connected to the Arduino. How by using the Android app you can connect the, or you can control the LED, you can control the light, you can control the fan, right? That I have done. So let me show you that video.
Ma'am,
Yes.
you didn't share your screen.
You need to share your
Are you there?
Okay, can you see the screen, everyone? Okay, so let me start the video again. Okay, so see in that video what is explained that in a Android app, one Android app is their Bluetooth controller, right? By using that you can connect the another controller, right? You can connect the one component LED, let's say, right? So LED is connected in the Arduino via Bluetooth. Now what is happening actually is that you are controlling Android device, sorry, you can control LED by using the Android device, but LED is not connected to Android device. LED is connected to Arduino. So how you can connect actually Arduino and Android device? So by using a Bluetooth module. So one Bluetooth module was used there. Now let me tell you, if you are interested in very simple connection and very less number of components are required here. If you are interested, then you can go to this website. See this one. I have actually find out that website which is giving you every material and even the Bluetooth app also, whatever they have designed. So you need not to design the Bluetooth app for that. So let me show you that Bluetooth controller app was also whatever shown in the video is also here. To see how to make the connection of Arduino and HC05 Bluetooth module. The connection and everything is given over here. How to do the connection. What is the code required in the Arduino? So what code you have to write. So I have also show you this code in the previous PPT, previous slide. And the app by which you can control this project. So that app is also given here. See, Arduino Bluetooth. So this Android app is also available. You can download this app and you can install, you can download that app in your mobile phone and you can directly use it to control the project. Right. So this tutorial is very good, and by which you can do the same thing, whatever was shown in the video. You can control the device by using the one device to the another one, right? One Android device, and you can control the LED by using one Arduino in between. Okay. So any doubt till now, everyone? Okay. So let us move further. And see, this was the demo and tutorial I had already shown you, right? And last thing I want to ask you, let's see here. I have shown you one program by which you can control this LED. You can make the LED on or off. But if instead of 0, if 1 is received, then LED should be off. And if 0 is received, then LED should be on. Then what changes are required here? What changes are required? I repeat my question. If here what is happening, that if you are giving 1, then LED should be on. If you are giving 0, LED should be off. But let's say you want to do the different process. You want to do the opposite process. If you are giving 0, then LED should be on. And if you are giving 1, then LED should be off. So what changes are required here in the program and the connection, everyone? That is my question. So what changes you will do in the connection in the program? Yeah, we have to change in the if-else condition. Yeah, it means wherever a equal to 1 is there, you will write 0. Right? And wherever a equal to 1 is there, 0 is there, you will write 1. That is the change in the program. So what connection change should be required? What change in the connection is required? In program, what you have to change, that you know. Instead of a equal to 1, you have to write a equal to 0. And instead of a equal to 0, you have to write a equal to 1. But what should be changed into the connection of LED? May I show you the connection? Yes. Okay. So see the connection and let me know. The direction of LED, isn't it? Direction of LED should be changed. Negative lead should be connected to here, positive lead should be connected to here. Then only it will work, isn't it, everyone? Yes. So that was all about the Bluetooth that we want to actually convey into. Actually, in the theory portion, if you will see, then they have simply tell that Bluetooth is one topic. Now, in the Bluetooth, how much you have to read, that is not mentioned, right? But let me tell you what you have to actually learn into the Bluetooth, that whatever things you have learned today. That is, what is Bluetooth, what are the application, and how it is working, what is the architecture of the module. That is the, I think almost all the things are covered into the Bluetooth. Okay, so this was the experiment also, and by which we want to show you that how the one thing can be connected to the another controller via Bluetooth module. Okay, so that I have actually shown you the video and the code also, so that you can do it by yourself also if you wish. So that's all about the experiment number 9. Any doubts into experiment 9 to anyone? Fine. So we have completed, so far we have completed 9 experiments, and the 10th one is Cisco packet tracer. Now let me tell you, because some students were asking me whenever we have designed the term work rubric on demand, that okay, we will choose a quiz or video making or C++ coding, and if you want to learn the Cisco packet tracer also, then can we do it? So yes, I told them also that yes, I will introduce the Cisco packet tracer in one of the experiment also. Okay, so here in the 10th experiment, we will learn that how to use that Cisco packet tracer, how you can form a different network and how the devices are actually communicating, right? So you can visualize all the things which is happening into the Cisco packet tracer. So before explaining you the tool, I think today the whole experiment will not be covered. But just a minute. Today, whole experiment will not be covered, but today I will tell you something about Cisco Packet Tracer. No, Rafat, I'm not going to introduce a tool for you. I'm only going to tell you that why Cisco Packet Tracer will be used. So in the next lab, within 1 hour, we will complete the experiment. Or should we start it in the next lab only? As you say, I don't have any problem. So one last experiment is there. We can start it in the next lab, or we can start it today and we will give the introduction of the tool in the next one. Okay, so only Rafat is answering. Okay, Gloria, David, everyone is giving the same answer. Okay, so next lab. Okay, so we will complete the 10th experiment and the last in the next lab, and after next lab, there will not be any lab for the DCN. Okay, so that next lab will be the last lab for you for this subject at least. Then we will remove the slots, online timetable slots of the DCN lab. Okay. Yeah, lectures will be there because lectures are pending. Today, the whole experiment will not be completed, Matthews. That's why, because time is limited. Yeah. So everyone, write your enrollment number. And if you have any doubts into the today's lab, then you can ask. Write your enrollment number without fail, everyone. Otherwise, your attendance will not be done. For what actually you are coming, right? For the attendance. Once you write your number, you can leave the meeting. Is there any website which one have deep information regarding FHSS? Arafat, I will send you in the WhatsApp, okay? If I will find a good one. Okay. Iba, have you written your number? Iba, have you written your number? Yeah, this happens, see.